Hey, good morning, good evening, good night, whatever the case may be. And welcome to this Tech Talk, where we're going to be speaking about the new Analytics Query Builder. I'm Ricardo, and joining me, I have Rick Blaylock. Hi, Rick.
Hey, how you doing?
Good.
Hey, good morning, good evening.
There's the echo. So the agenda is this is going to be a somewhat short talk. We're going to be going straight to the point. The Accelerator Query Builder is basically a tool, a visual tool that allows you to perform complex and custom queries on top of the analytic feature events. There's four major topics that we're going to be covering. The first one, why use the Query Builder. The second one, how to access the Query Builder. Then we're going to be running a demo, and how to get data into the Query Builder. So without further ado, let's just transfer control over to Rick and go ahead and start with the demo.
All right, great. Hi, everybody. My name is Rick Blaylock. I'm a Director of Product Architecture here at Accelerator. We're going to go over some of this Query Builder stuff. Why we built Query Builder. If you guys have been using Query Builder or Accelerator's analytics, you'll know that, actually, let me go share my screen here and I'll show you some stuff. You'll know that we have an analytics dashboard. Here's an example of, I'm going to show you a sample app that I have called Fish Rules. This is real time. You notice I've got an active session going on here. It's because I got the simulator running. Well, one of the things you can do with Fish Rules, you can log what's called feature events. These are custom events that you name them, and at these here in this prototype app, and these are the names of them. Well, you can associate data with this as well. So in this case, this is a detail screen of my app. Well, it hit 105 times. Well, I want to know, or 95 times. Well, I want to know of the times that it was hit, well, which screen was it? In this case, I'll show you my app. I've got this app here, and if I search for dolphin, that's mine. I clicked on that. Okay, I went to the detail screen, which is this right here, but which screen was it? Okay, it was dolphin. Where was the location? Was it Florida Atlantic State Waters? Things like that. So I can associate that data with the feature event. And we've had this forever. If you go to our documentation, actually, if you go to Titanium Analytics, and you'll see feature event here. Well, we've had this forever, but what we haven't had is when you pass in the data object, which could be any kind of data properties you want. In my case, it would be the name of the fish, the ID, the location, that kind of thing. We haven't displayed this in the UI, and you'll notice here in our docs it says this is not displayed in the UI. Well, Query Builder is the answer to that. So you can see that data in the UI, but also write intelligent queries on top of it. And so we're just going to jump right into this and show you. So I'm going to jump over to Query Builder here. Oh, first, to get to this, if you have a platform account, you can go to labs.accelerator.com, and you'll see some of our products in Labs. Labs, just so you all know, Labs is where we put products that aren't quite GA, but they're something that we want the public to use and to try out, report bugs on, talk about, things like that. So in this case, we have Query Builder here, and you can click on it. There's a video. Basically, it's going to tell you the exact same stuff that we're talking about today. And then you click on this, and it'll take you to that website. Another thing to note before we jump into this, if you go to community.accelerator.com, there is a discussion area under Labs for Query Builder. So you can go to Query Builder here and post questions, bugs, things like that, and that'll help us out making this product ready for prime time. So I'm going to jump over to Query Builder. So when you click on that link from Labs, this is the first screen you see. You'll come to a list of all the queries that you've created. And I'm just going to go ahead and create one here. So if I click build a query here, it's going to load the query screen. And I'm going to pick my Fish Rules app. And there's some data already. I'm going to go ahead and change this to 30 days so we see some more data. There's some more data right there. Now I'm going to start building out the queries. This is the total count I have for all of my feature events right now. I can actually just go ahead and limit it. Let me see how many people, never mind the feature events, let's see how many people on iOS are using this. So I click on that, and there are 1,300 out of the 1,500 were iOS for this prototype app that we're working on. If I want to see a specific feature event, I can go ahead and search for them. In this case, remember the detail screen that I just showed you in my app. I'm going to click on that. Again, that's this right here that you see. So there's 222 in the last month, and then you'll notice this is all the payload data. So when I created the feature event, which if I go back to the docs, is this right here. You see the sample code, the feature event, and then the second parameter is an object of data. When I pass that through, that's what you see here. This is the object of data and the properties here. So one of them is the location or the species name. And one thing that's helpful is in all of these keys, there's actually a pie chart that shows you the total count of all of them, like that. But in this case, I'm writing a specific query for, let's say, greater amberjack. Click on that, and there's my query for a greater amberjack. If I wanted to get really specific, show me all the greater amberjack in Florida Southeast region. Well, there's 0. No one's looked for there.
Hey, Rick.
Yeah.
So are those properties the ones you set with the feature event?
Yes. Yeah. So this is what it would look like actually if I went and showed you. It would be ti.analytics.feature event. So as a developer, I would have put this in, and then you'd have an object. And so in this case, there's what, species name. And in this case, it would have been amberjack greater, like that. And then along with location ID, species ID, that kind of thing too. So I could have put location, which probably Florida, Atlantic, state waters, etc. Does that make sense?
Yes. So you can put as many as you need.
Yes. Yes. You can put. You can load them up.
Great. Thank you.
So what I'm doing is I'm creating filters, multiple filters here. And then I can also, I'm going to go ahead and get rid of the location. So of these amberjack, I just want to see who's looking on them on Android. It might not be anybody actually. Yeah, there's not. So it's only iOS. Oops, iOS there. So pretty handy as you create these filters, and you can have multiple filters. If I want amberjack and I want dolphin, I can get a subset of data that way and toggle and or. When I'm done, you click Save Query, and you can make this query public to your org, so everybody who is in your organization can see this query. That's useful for people who maybe aren't as familiar with the app, and they just want to check a stat, but they don't want to go create a query because they're not familiar with what kind of query they need. Or you can create a private query, which only you will see this in the dashboard. And you give it a name and hit save, and then it'll save it. So I'm going to go back to the list, and I'm going to show you a couple other things. One of the other things is, so that was a general query with a line chart, but you can also create a funnel if you want to create a specific type of graph. So in this case, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to pick Fish Rules. And I'm going to do, let's do foreground. So that's when someone opens the app, and then from the date range days, just so we can see some data. So 97 people hit the foreground, and then from there we're going to do regulation detail. 25 hit that, and then let's see. This might not happen. We might not have any data here, but let's do the log button. Where's that at? Logfish button. Let's do that. All right, and 0 people hit that. So that's a funnel, like you can see, and I can start to change things. Let's do the filter button. That's a good one. Filter
Hey,
select.
Rick,
Yeah.
can you explain what a funnel is?
Yeah. So a funnel is, in this case, it's going to be steps that people took. The end goal is I want to see how many people hit regulation details, but not everybody. That took a specific path. That's what I'm looking for. So I'm looking for how many people open the app, filtered the selection, which in my case in this app is this button here. So someone opened the app, they clicked this button, they filtered the selection, and then they went to a detail screen from there. So it's a path that someone's taking. So in this case, I have 22 people who took this total path, if you will. So I've narrowed the funnel down to 22 people in this case.
Got it. So that means that the filter selection is acting on top of the 97 of type foreground and so forth?
Yes, yes. You're reducing the set each time you add to the filter.
Got it. Thank you.
Yeah, exactly. So that's another thing you can do. And same thing, you can save it, you can make it public, you can make it private, and then you have a filter-based query. So once you've saved these and created and saved these, you can visit them if accessible via your org. Then someone else in your org can say, okay, let me see the regulation details, and they can click on it. And then they'll get a report view of the details. They can click on details and get the actual query parameters. In this case, I don't really have any other than just the event name. They can change the date to see, in this case, a month view. They can toggle the views so you can get bar charts, line or spline type views. And another cool thing is you can also compare. So if I wanted to compare this with another query, I could. So in this case, I'm comparing details with ad impressions, which might not make sense in the real world, but you can compare multiple queries, which is nice. And you can see, so there's the ad impressions and there's the regulation details. You can compare those. Another awesome thing here is notifications. So I actually have a weekly email I get for this specific query, but you can create a notification and you can say things like, send me the latest results of this query every hour, or send it to me every day, or send it to me every week. Send me a weekly report, which is what I have right now, and send me an email weekly report, and then I can enter my email address and I'll get that. Another cool thing you can do, you can also change it. Notify me when this query is greater than 500 within a given hour, or notify me when this count goes below something in a given week. So you can change that as well. Another cool thing you can do is you can actually post to a webhook. So in this case, you give us a URL that we can post to. And when we meet this criteria, in this case, it's the latest results in a week. Once a week, URL posts this data to that URL. So what you see here basically on this chart, we will post that data in a JSON format to whatever URL you want us to post to, which is very, very handy for people that have their own BI tools or own reporting things that they use. Another thing you can do, along with create notification, is you can hit this query ad hoc anytime you want, and we generate an API. So I'm going to go ahead and copy this. If you're screenshotting this, don't worry, I'm going to delete this query after we're done. And there you go. There's the data I get back from that. And there's a couple things you can do. You can change the range to a month, for instance, and then you'll get a month's worth of data back. And you'll see here it tells you can do. And also, we're working on some views, HTML views for this too. So you can say type is HTML. Type is HTML, there it is. And then we'll spit back a chart for you as well. And you can also download a CSV for Query Builder as well. And that's the general overview of Query Builder. Does anybody have questions or comments, jokes, stories, anecdotes?
Yeah, there's a question about, so what happens if your app is collecting analytics data and the app loses a connection? Is that data cached offline and then synchronized back to the server automatically?
Oh, so in Titanium, your mobile app, you lose connection, someone's using it. What happens to the analytic data? Yeah, so we capture that offline, and then when it's online, we'll push it.
Cool. Let me see if there's any other question. No, I don't think there's any questions. So just for you guys, if there's a question that pops up, make sure that you hit community.appcelerator.com and ask your questions there, and we continue the conversation there. Is that, Rick, is this something that anyone can access right now?
If you have a platform account, you should be able to access this.
Does it have to be a specific tier like indie or team?
So I don't think indies have access to it. I think it's people that are on trial, and then team and enterprise people.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks everyone for coming to this Tech Talk. Thank you, Rick, and yeah, see you next time.
All right, great. Thanks, everybody.